This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Friday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. That right there is my little buddy Kelly Billen, everybody. Oh, here the computers begin.
I was like, what did my computer do?
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Hey, Football Fridays, everybody. Football.
Yeah.
Nothing. Well, I won't say nothing but football because we have baseball to talk about. We got other things to talk about. Not only do we have Steve Fezzik, everything that he wants to talk about in the world of sports betting. Chris Felica with multiple, and when I say multiple, at least 5 college football plays for the weekend. But also Dr. Bob looking to keep his ridiculous college football season streak alive. Only 1 loss all year on the show.
6-1? Is that what the record is?
6-1, I think.
Or am I shorting him because did he do multiples?
I think you might be shorting.
I think so.
He'll tell us. I'm sure he'll know. I'm sure he'll be the first to tell us. If you're in the state of Illinois, though, he's undefeated, we were told, because it was an Illinois game that he lost, and you can't bet in Illinois there. So undefeated there. Aaron Schatz is the bonus today. Aaron, the chief analytics officer at FTN Sports, always comes in on the quarterlies because it's a 17-game season. That's a little tough to sort of manage precisely on the quarter. So he's here after week number 5, heading into week number 6, and we'll look at the league through the prism of DVOA and something else he's started with called now I won't even get it, PGWE, post game win expectancy.
Ooh.
Looking back on games, we'll just take week 5 since it's the most recent week. Obviously, there was Thursday Night Football last night, but week 5, how many times a team that should have won did not in the National Football League, based on the box score, that kind of thing?
Arizona Cardinals.
That would be one of them. You are correct, sir.
Nailed it. I'm done.
Boy, you didn't even need your own advanced stat for this.
I don't even need AA run.
Good job. Good to know my computer's not updating this morning. That's awesome. Here's the deal. So we also will go through week 6 preview as well, review all of our bets. Let us begin, and we'll talk baseball as well. Let us begin with that game in the National Football League, though, last night between the Giants and the Eagles. And let me just say this. The biggest takeaway, Giants, for those who missed it, Giants win this football game 34-17, and they win it in convincing fashion, as they say. 1 point would have convinced me, Kelly, but you understand what I'm saying. A 17-point outright win by the New York Giants, who were 7-point dogs, 7.5 earlier in the week. And the Eagles, oh boy. Oh boy. Let me just say this, and I'll say this as a guy, again, who on guessing lines took the Giants plus 7.5, right? Quick instinct, bang, there's my bet. And then all week, what did I say? I kept saying, can't wait to see how I lose this bet, right?
Dude, great pick, right side.
Well, but I want to say it from a perspective of a guy who had a winning bet, because when you say it when you have a perspective of a guy who's a losing bet, everybody always chimes in, oh, because you lost a bet, you know that story. So I'll say this: we're Meshuggah betting on this stuff. We really are. And there was so many people who made a great case, and I mean a really well thought out case. And for God's sakes, I did yesterday, right, when we were going through the game preview, of here's all the elements involved that might point you to an under. Mm-hmm. And the under, what was it, 40? In the end, it was 40 and a half. Yeah. Right, you were one of those.
Under 41.
Joe Pita gave a marvelous dissertation as to why the under was played. This game was over in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was over so quickly. For those who missed it, Philadelphia, after the kickoff, was short of the landing zone to start. Elliott, 42-yard field goal, 3-0 Philly. That was their high point of the game. Because after an Olszewski 37-yard kickoff return, Giants went 6 plays, 54 yards, dart to Lil Jordan Humphrey. You gonna name your son Lil Jordan when you have a child?
In consideration.
Okay. Big chunk on 3rd and 12 from their own 44. 3 plays later, dart in from 19 on 3rd and 7. 7-3 Giants. 5 minutes into the game. Philadelphia 3 and out. Giants 4 plays, 66 yards. Dart to Wan'Dale Robinson from 35. 2 plays after, they hooked up for 26. 13-3. They missed the extra point. All right. Eagles do have their one big drive here. 8 plays, 75 yards. Hurts flipped to Goddard from 3 out. 13-10. Now, at that point, you were thinking, okay, My 10-point lead with 7.5 points. I see the earth is returning to its axis. Yeah, not so great. That was late first quarter, by the way. Giants 3.5. Philadelphia, 13 plays, 74 yards. The last 4 on the Tuchus push. Okay, so this is the other little side element of this game that, in case you missed it, so the Eagles take the lead here 17-13 with 6:56 left in the second quarter. But the way that they did it was them basically, this is almost the final, to me, this is the final salvo of the Tuchus push, meaning that when this gets banned, people will look back at this sequence and say, yeah, we can't have this anymore. And I'm not saying if I'm an advocate or not. All I'm saying is this is going to be cited as an example.
Agreed.
Right? It was third and 1. I'll give you the exact. It was 3rd and 1. They didn't gain any yardage. 3rd and 1 at the 3. 4th and inches then at the Giants 3. They get the first down. That was the second straight Tuchus push. They converted. 1st and goal at the 1. That didn't get there. That was the 3rd in the row. 2nd and goal at the 1. They get in the end zone. 17-13. And that is the end of that.
And which one were we clearly offsides on? The first one?
Well, that was the thing. So, in other words, the latest, remember, the people who want to ban the Tuchus push, it's not aesthetically pleasing. It causes injuries. There's no data to support that. And their latest thing, because those haven't resonated yet for a ban vote yet, is, it's really hard to officiate. Mm-hmm. And now with...
That's stupid.
Now with the cameras, right, they are really seizing on when the right guard does move early. But there's no way human beings can, as officials, can see that every time, if any time. And so that's going to be the latest.
Well,
when by the way, I've always said the real argument against it is, well, defensive players can't push each other. Why should they be able to?
So I think you've always made a great point with that. Well, guess what? Some camera operator for Amazon Prime and a director caught that right away.
Yep.
So where's replay assistance at? I actually think these are two different subjects. The false starts or offsides on the offense and whether the tush push should be banned or not are completely separate issues. You have an officiating issue with a football play. Get that together. If you want to ban this play from football, fine. I'm not going to argue about it. But you know what, Gil? It still comes down to it's the Eagles. It's only the Eagles that can do this well.
Yeah.
I don't really feel bad for everybody else when that's still just the thing.
Well, that's their argument. That's
Yes.
that side of the argument, right? But to your point, what have I said about all these kinds of things, right? Replay assistant being maybe the greatest example of the NFL didn't tell us when it arrived. They didn't tell us what it covered. And then it just kind of was part of our lives.
Right.
In the same way that Scott Hansen, says, the dynamic kickoff. We didn't know it was called that till you said that, Scott. And he said it 1,000 times since then. He still tries to push the dynamic.
And I don't know, maybe this is Gil, I'm not saying these people aren't extremely talented. Guess what? Directors of national football games are very good at what they do. NFL, maybe you should hire some of these people if you're having troubles with all the cameras and getting the right angles.
17-13 Eagles. That was really their high point after the 4 consecutive Tuchus pushes. Giants then go 16 plays, 67 yards. No play greater than 9 yards. Scatabo in from 4, 20-17. Philly couldn't do anything in the last 1:19 of the first half because they had no timeouts. And then third quarter, after a couple 3-and-outs, Giants go 56 yards. Scatabo for 12 to the 1. Then in on the next play, 27-17 Giants with 7:56 left in the third. Next time the Giants had the ball, 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 3. Dart was sacked by Patrick Johnson. A hush came over the stadium because Dart looked hurt. Had to go into the tent, though. He did jog into the tent. Russell Wilson comes in his second play, he throws the ball into the dirt. The crowd cascading with boos. Give us our guy back.
Or Jameis, at least. Come on. Russell's quit on you.
Literally no human is clamoring for Jameis, except for Kelly. Philly then matriculates, right? So then you're like, okay, well, it's 27-17. There's plenty of football to be played. Here comes Philly matriculating, but 2nd and 10 at the Giants 15. Hurts throws it behind the receiver, picked by Cordell Flott. Returns at 68 yards. Giants set up at the Philly 23. 3rd and 8 at the 21. PI in the end zone. Scatabo in from 1. 34-17 with 9:41 left. And then Philly, what would turn out to be Philly's longest, last drive of the game. They do matriculate, but Hurts to A.J. Dillon for 11, lunging for extra yardage, punched out by Dane Belton, recovered by Drew Phillips. And the Giants then take over with it was 6:50 left, and the Eagles never see the ball again. That was one of those drives where like they moved 20 yards in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
First down, setback, first down. It was just all. This was a lackluster performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. And now it goes from, okay, you were 4-1, your offense stunk, but you played a lot of good quarterbacks. So, and your defense was still top 10 rated EPA per play. So you could spin it easily, right? And I kind of did yesterday too. Yeah, but like the defense has been great against great competition. Now you're up against Jackson Dart. Even though your offense is kind of has sucked, your defense will be able to win this for you.
Yep.
And now it's like, oh boy.
I mean, that took all of what, 10 minutes of game time for you to be like, oh boy, the Eagles defense seems to be unraveling, and if this is the case, this is a problem for this team. And it never corrected itself.
Are the Washington Commanders going to win this division?
I was going to bring that up with you today. Is that a bet you're looking at? Because they are still dogs, right?
Yeah, they're still plus money. Yeah.
And hey, man, I think world is crashing for Philadelphia today. I think that is completely deserved. A.J. Brown after the game deflecting questions about whether he even met with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts this week.
Oh, now that
didn't
happen?
Did you catch that at all?
Now that didn't happen?
He's not that I recall, Gil. That's what he kept saying. And then the vibes on the Giants side. I mean, you always joke about, find someone who loves Josh Allen as much as me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on that sideline? The love fest between head coach and the Giants and the quarterback and running back. Vibes are high in New York, man.
Eagles minus 115 to win the NFC East. Commanders plus 140. Cowboys plus 750. The New York Giants 50-1. Coming back. Wasn't good for Philly and baseball either. Yeah. We got to talk about that last sequence. Coming back on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, we had all the props and previews in the NFL and recap Thursday Night Football. The Iceman, Chuck Edel, will be back. Best bet, sides, and totals. Mike Somich to go over the NFL slate and a plethora of props. And Brett McMurphy, America's college football insider. What's going on in North Carolina? Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
First Bet and VSiN have teamed up with a special offer, and today's the final day to take advantage of it. Open and deposit into a new First Bet account and get up to a $250 sign-up bonus with promo code VSiN250. Then place $100 in wagers within your first 30 days, and you'll unlock a full year of VSiN Pro, a $240 value. Already a subscriber? We'll extend your subscription another year. For more information, go to first.com/VSiN. That's 1st.com/VSIN. Skill Alexander. That's Kelly Bidlin. We're going to Ron Burgundy through some tweets here in the early morning.
Sure, go for it.
In the early morning. Tronsky, literally my little buddy, Little Jordan, is not the only one clamoring for Jameis. Gills, you stand corrected. Literally no one is clamoring for Russ. Well, I didn't say they were clamoring for Russ.
You know what? There's two things here in this tweet. I would like to replace Little Buddy with just Lil Kelly Bidlin. Lil, yeah.
Yeah, Lil apostrophe. Andrew at Damn It Andrew, he said, "Hey Gil, I was at the kiosk deciding what I wanted to bet on for Thursday Night Football while listening to the pod. Will chimed in and said he loved the under, so I promptly bet the over. Never sweat. Will's picks are the best. Love the show." Here's the thing with Willie, though, you should know. Like, it's also a testament to pre-flop NFL. Like, it is not a representation of your betting acumen, because then he'll go in game and he's great.
I mean, this is, yeah.
It's just a thing.
These are things, like, we don't like to bring it up. Like, I was in on the under pregame. Yeah. I also got in on the under live. I got home.
We don't do it. We don't say it on the show, because then people are like, "Oh, you didn't have it on the show, so you're acting like you said." Sure you did. Real Knicks, Kelly spot on with his point on the Tuchus push. The refs need to get it together first. That being said, he's also right that it's only Philly that can do it. Well, you're making great points this morning. Nobody's ever made that point that only Philly can do it. Good job by you. If my Dolphins tried it 4 times in a row, they'd lose 3 yards, and Tua would be in intensive care. Oh, poor Tua.
It is. I know. I know. I'm not the first person to say it. I keep coming back to that, though. Right? Like, it's with all this wanna ban it. Fine. Like, show me that it works across the board, and this is going to kill the NFL, and then absolutely let's get rid of it.
Jason Stark. Is Jason Stark the Steelers fan?
Of course he is, Jason. Yeah, we know.
He said, "Oh, great. Today we get to hear how the Ravens are the greatest team ever that has 7 players, including their quarterback, injured through DVOA." No, I don't think you will, but you know what you will hear? The best 3-2, one of the best 3-2 teams ever, and one of the worst 4-1 teams ever.
I did type up the bottom and the top of DVOA for us for graphics. Good. I will say, Jason, I was still a little shocked at how high the Ravens graded out on there.
Quoth the Ravens. Remember how clever Berman always was with that? Ryan Thompson. I thought he was. Pushing an offensive player wasn't legal up until 2005. NFL can always just go back to the original rules regarding pushing a player with the ball. I'm with you, Ryan. That's my whole point. That should be their argument. It's very simple. All this other stuff, they're just making up on the. It's the injuries. That's the ticket. It's the aesthetically unpleasing. It's the you can't officiate it. They're just coming up with stuff, right? That's the argument to make.
Who's saying this? Like a 1940s newsman?
No, John Lovett, Saturday Night Live, about 1986.
No, that was Lovett. Okay.
Kevin Ryan, Gill, the OC for the Eagles needs to be fired immediately. When the first 2 plays from their own 10 where Barkley runs up the middle and didn't convert on 3rd and 12, I knew it was over. Night and day with the energy between teams.
Yeah, that too.
The other thing was Saquon also, and I know he's also not getting the volume. But that stat what's that stat? Someone will be able to say it precisely. The one where someone gains 1 million yards the previous year and then it falls off a cliff the next. Can we start to quote that at some point in the year?
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I don't. Last night was more obvious to me, though, than any other game the Eagles have played this year, and this is also a credit to the Giants' defensive front, right? Like, that offensive line was getting pushed around all night long.
But it's a banged-up offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Hen Bill, roughest week in Philly sports since I had to live through the great 1964 pennant collapse as a 10-year-old that scared me for life. Or I think he means scarred him for life, but he said scared. Either way, we get the point. Speaking of that, yesterday, Major League Baseball. So we had the doubleheader yesterday, and I guess catered to Phillies fans. They played the afternoon game between the Phillies and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine with all the shadows there.
Yeah,
Shadows Stevens.
Ended what though at halftime, right? Of the football game.
It got to halftime. I think.
I think that's.
I think it did get to halftime. It was right around there, if not. But what ends up happening, of course, for those who missed that, and this is, first of all, let me just say this. The other game, the Cubs win. Let's just start with that real quick. Cubs win 6-0 against the Brewers. So the answer to that question that I asked of Borchard and Sporer earlier in the week, which is, of the three teams that are down 2-0, remember that at the time the Tigers and the Mariners were 1-1, but of the three teams that were down 2-0, Cubbies, Phillies, Yankees, who is the most likely to get to a Game 5? I said Yankees. Sporer said Phillies. And then remember, Borchard was like, well, it's really none of them, but I'll give you my numbers. And remember, it was like 80%, 90% likely that the favorites would not have to deal with a Game 5. The Cubbies incrementally were the lowest of those. But the answer is the Cubs. The answer is the Cubs, and they do it pretty, fairly easily yesterday. 3-0 in the first, added run the sixth, added a run in the seventh on a Kyle Tucker solo shot, added a run in the eighth on a Michael Busch solo shot, 6-0. Milwaukee tomorrow, tomorrow, Game 5. Brewers number 1 seed. We're going to get Misiorowski to start, or are they going to bring him out of the pen? I would think they would start him.
I checked out the VSiN newsletter this morning, and Greg Peterson thinks it's going to be Miz.
Yeah.
Miz to go.
Nobody beats the Miz.
Right now, that is, let's see, Brewers anywhere minus 125 to 132 I see out there.
All right, let's go back to the
it's 7.5 total, because that'll be important for the next game we talk about.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. The Phillies and the Dodgers yesterday, scoreless till the 7th. Glasnow versus Sanchez. Top 7, Castellanos, 1-out RBI, double scores Kepler, 1-0 Phillies. Would that be enough? But in the bottom of the 7th, runners at second and third for the Dodgers. Rob Thompson intentionally walks Ohtani with runners on second and third, which I thought was the good move, despite the fact that Ohtani was 1 for 17 in this series. First base open, they put him there. Bases loaded. Mookie induces a walk from Johan Duran, 1-1, and then Duran strikes out Teoscar to end the threat. We go all the way to the 11th. Here it is, Phillies fans. Bottom 11, 1-1. Edman, 1-out single. Muncy, 2-out single. Hae-Sung Kim, pinch runner, gets to third. So you have runners at first and third, 2 down. Orion Kerkering comes in for Jesus Luzardo. Muncy goes to second on indifference. Kike walks. So the bases are juiced now. 2 down. Bottom 11, 1-1 game. Andy Pages steps to the plate. Always remember Jason Weingarten.
Dude, I was just going to bring it up.
He loves himself some Andy Pages.
First time I ever heard that name said, it was from Jason Weingarten. I'm like, did he just say Andy Pages?
And I had to say it's spelled like Pages, pronounced Pages. Pages. What Vin Scully would call a nubber to the mound to Kerkering. It kicks off his foot. He doesn't field it cleanly. By the way, the force is anywhere, right? You can go anywhere. The bases are loaded. After it bounces off his foot, he after that fumble, in a panic, he goes home. It's an errant throw. Doesn't come anywhere near Real Muto at home. Dodgers win 2-1.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. And they win the game. They win the series. And as I've characterized it, and I'm sure many have, to me, these are the best 2 teams in baseball, right? Phillies and Dodgers. So that is, boy, oh boy, leg up. But I'll say this. A lot is being made of the errant throw, right? A lot is, oh my God, he threw it away. That's not the point to me, right? Because after it bounces off his foot, I'm not even sure that a perfect throw home gets the runner. I really don't know that is the case.
Oh, I don't think it had a chance. I don't think it ever stood a chance.
Right. The point is, and I don't know that people are making it up. People are like, oh boy, it was the brain fart of the panic of not going to first.
Yes. Because it was Real Muto even pointing that way? He's going, go first.
Real Muto is pointing to first base. He's pointing to first base, and Andy Pages, by estimate, was about 50 feet away from first base. So if you have your head about you, you turn to first, you get the force, and you move on to the 12th. No guarantee you're going to win the game, but at least the game continues. But that, I just feel like everyone's, oh, what a terrible throw. Yeah, that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that poor dude.
I feel awful for him, man. I mean, that kind of moment.
You see that angle from the Dodgers dugout side where Kerkering, the pitcher, is slumped over in despair. His head is bowed in despair. and the Dodgers are pouring out of the dugout past him. It's a painting. It's a brutal image.
And if you're someone like me who had I have a Dodgers World Series ticket, thank you, Adam Burke, for that recommendation before the playoffs. I mean, that felt massive, right? Like, feel for the guy, be like, I don't want this game to go to 5, or this series to go to 5. Like this, like you said, this is kind of where we said that whoever wins this, we think is probably winning the World Series. Didn't want that to go to the 5th game.
Here's the thing: I have no idea what the Phillies were going to do with pitching in Game 5, but that was a matter for another day.
Right.
after what they put out there yesterday. But the Dodgers move on. Dodgers play the winner of that Cubs-Brewers Game 5. And, of course, the Blue Jays await the winner of tonight's
Scoople on the mound.
Tigers, Mariners, Game 5 in Seattle with Scoople on the hill. We'll get to that on the other side. And Chris Felica, all of his college football picks as well. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming, so wait and see. It's a good.
The NBA betting season is tipping off, and VSiN's got you covered with our brand new NBA betting guide. We've packed it with key insights and betting trends, previews of all 30 teams, and of course, our experts' season-long best bets. It's the playbook you want in your hands before the first tip. The guide is exclusive for VSiN Pro members, so don't miss out. Sign up today at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Don't forget, VSiN.com, always there at your disposal. NFL and college football betting hub. Steve McAdam's NFL and college football best bets. Paulie Howard's Week 6 kicker props. He's keeping with it.
Is he still at Fuego? He was hot to start the season.
I don't know.
Check that out.
It might be a thing for him. Coming up today, ALDS Game 5 previews, UFC Rio picks and predictions, and weekend college football matchup previews. Don't forget you sign up now for as little as $9.99 access to all the VSiN Pro articles at vsin.com/subscribe. We get tweets and beat of the book. Always appreciate it. Y'all are the best. Jason H11. I agree with Little Kelly. Jameis needs to be the backup. He leads the pregame pep talk. Players love him. Montreal Max letting us know that Philly nightmare last night was not only the Eagles and the Phillies, but also the Flyers lost. City's first triple defeat in 40 years.
Wow.
I find that hard to believe.
Me too.
Ice Cold Gambler. Hey, Gilly, does Kelly get a dress code violation today for not wearing a collared shirt? Be careful, Kelly. Producer number 10 looking to take your spot.
It's a good point. The last part's a good point. I just followed Dave and Jensen's lead in the morning. It's Casual Fridays.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
If I only had email. Oh, I do? Oh, I'm being told I have email.
It wasn't an email.
Primetime. Cowboys_Cubs1. Yo. Hey, man. Little Kelly Bidley with incredible insights this AM. Philly's world is crashing down, quote unquote. Couldn't happen to a better city and the worst fans on earth, he says. At least the world turned those games off to watch the beloved Cubs dominate their suburban rival. He's very biased. Judd O'Connor, but proudly so. Judd O'Connor, every baseball play. If the ball comes to me, what do I do? Moment can't be too big to use your brain, even if it's the 11th against the Dodgers in the playoffs. Judd is right about that. Every baseball play, you have to know the situation and know where you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The biggest problem with that ending is, like, I'm not sure. Like you said it, he got so flustered right away when, like, the first thing went wrong. I don't even know. I don't think he was thinking anything after that.
Yeah. Let's talk some college football. Chris Felica joins us now from a mediocre hotel somewhere in this great land of ours, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Oh, he didn't like that comment.
Gorgeous.
Not mediocre. What is it?
No, it's the fine University of Illinois Hotel and Conference Center where I came from you 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Back in Champaign, did the Indianapolis International Airport to Champaign Drive in the middle of the night again last night for the second time in 3 weeks, and here we are. I did get the memo about wearing a collared shirt, though, Kelly. So
for real.
I just wanted to do that to make you feel bad.
For real,
pile it on.
Good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's okay, though. It's a good look. I'm a big. That's like a go-to travel apparel for me. The long sleeve T-shirt. It's a very comfortable, easy look.
Yep, I agree.
One can assume you're there for Illinois and Ohio State. Do you have any thoughts on that game?
That would be. I have a hard time thinking Illinois is going to be super competitive here. If you look at their offensive line, they're one of the worst teams in the country in terms of protecting the quarterback. They give up a ton of plays on the ground as well as big plays through the air. And if you look at Illinois, how they've done when they've been a big underdog lately, like you look, last 4 times they've been this big of an underdog, they scored 9, 7, 13, and 17 points. So when they were in last year, it was like 9 points at Oregon, 7 points at Penn State or something like that. So like it's been this Illinois team which won 10 games last year. So I can't see it being super competitive. I think that Ohio State defense is really good. I think Ohio State will get out of here with a very comfortable win tomorrow. Again, do I want to lay 14 and a half? If you're in one of those pick 'em pools, yeah, I would lay it, but I'm not running to the window with whatever your stake is, your normal bet sizes, and looking at bet 14 and a half.
Not racing to lay the wood on that one. All right, let's talk about a couple marquee matchups. Oregon and Indiana is fascinating also because there's the Heisman narrative thing happening underneath the game itself. Do you believe that this might go a long way towards determining the ultimate Heisman winner?
I do, because, and certainly I think more so for Dante Moore, because I think we talked a little bit about this last week, that I think either Indiana Oregon or Miami are going to wind up going 12-0, maybe both of them. and the winner of maybe their conference championship game will be a quarterback 13-0 on a team that's going to be number 1 or number 2 in the country. And I think ultimately it will come down to Dante Moore versus Carson Beck. I like Oregon here quite a bit. Indiana has that Vandy feel from last week where a lot of people are the plucky underdog, Indiana. And then maybe Vandy should have covered. Maybe they shouldn't have. Who knows? But they ultimately didn't. You look at Indiana, what they've done on the road against really good teams, the college football playoff game last year at Notre Dame, the regular season game at Ohio State. They scored a total of 32 points, 3.5 yards of play. They didn't score their first touchdown at Notre Dame until a minute and a half to go in the game. The score was 27-3. They scored on their first scripted drive at Ohio State and then did nothing for the next 40 minutes, however long it was, and scored again when it was 31-7. Whatever the reason, they've gone on the road and they have not quite had the similar success that they've had at home. Even a couple of weeks back when they were at Iowa, they had 13 points on the board with 2 minutes to go. And it took that short pass and catch and run and a broken tackle to get the ultimate win at Kinnick. So I think this is a great spot for Oregon. You know how Dan Lanning and that Oregon program loves to play up the lack of respect. Remember a couple weeks ago after the Penn State win, it's like, oh, is Oregon the best team in the country now? Wow, what a great win. And now people are like, yeah, it wasn't really a great win, and Penn State lost to UCLA. Oregon stole Penn State's soul that night at State College. They ripped their heart out. If you think the same Penn State team that showed up last week in front of 3,000 people at the Rose Bowl was the same Penn State team that showed up for the whiteout, I don't know what to tell you. I like Oregon here. I think they win by double digits.
Yeah.
The great thing about them is they don't kill themselves. They've allowed 1 sack and committed 1 turnover this year. They don't do stupid things. Bad loses more often than good wins, and they don't do bad things.
Say that again. Bad loses more often than good wins. So true. So true at every level. I will say this, though, again, just back to the initial question, which is, if Indiana's a 7-point dog here, if they somehow figure out a way to win this, we've always earmarked the Indiana losses as at Oregon and at Penn State, right? So if they win this one, and hearing what you're saying about Penn State, obviously the UCLA game was the outlier. We're thinking not the opposite. All of a sudden, then, it changes the entire narrative on the Hoosiers, though, doesn't it?
Correct. As of right now, there are no currently ranked teams remaining on Indiana's schedule. Maybe Penn State can work their way back into the ranking by then, but none of those other teams sure as hell are. They got Michigan State and UCLA at home, Wisconsin at home, and then the other road games are Purdue and Maryland. So if you are a Mendoza believer and you think that Oregon is vulnerable here and the Hoosiers can go on the road and win, then it would be the appropriate time, last chance to jump in on a Mendoza Heisman, just kind of like a couple weeks ago. Was probably your best opportunity, best last chance on Dante Moore to get a good number.
Joe Pita holding on to a 150-1 ticket on Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman. All right, let's go to another marquee matchup. Alabama and Mizzou, the Fighting Jeff Parlays of Mizzou. What do you got here?
I think this is a great spot for Missouri. I think if you look a couple of weeks ago, Alabama goes on the road, ends the nation's longest home winning streak. Last week, they get an emotional win at home against Vandy, who they lost to last year as a 20-something point dog. Now you got to go on the road to Missouri. Well, by the way, every opponent Alabama has played this year has entered the game undefeated, which is kind of a cool little note. They got the dual-threat quarterback in Prabula. They've got Hardy, who's one of the best running backs in the country. They're rested, and they've got revenge. I know you're not necessarily a big trend or a situational guy, but it is interesting. I went back and looked because I'm like, I totally forgot Alabama beat them 34-0 last year. And it was a game that Brady Cook was hurt. The backup Drew Pine came in, threw 3 picks, and it was 34-0. And it was ranked versus ranked. And I'm like, I wonder if this has happened before. I went back and looked. Last 25 years, you've had 8 instances where a ranked team allowed more than 30 points in a shutout loss and had revenge online the following year. 5 of those 8 teams won outright, 2 lost by a field goal, and 1 wound up losing to the eventual national champion Alabama. So this whole revenge, there's something to it. Whether it manifests Saturday afternoon in Como or not is another thing. But I think you look at the Alabama defense with the injuries that they've had, a team that allowed 230 on the ground to Florida State, team that allowed 230 on the ground in the win at Georgia and survived. I think they're a little vulnerable this week. I think Missouri's in a really good spot.
Real quick before we'll get to the non-marquee matchup plays on the other side, as Chris is kind enough to join us for 2 segments these days, which we appreciate very much. Do you agree with the sort of narrative that in whatever order, Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami are the big 3 right now, and everybody else is below that?
I do. I do. I think if your friends at Circa or maybe our Mishpuka Chris Andrews wants to hang a prop, Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami versus the field, that'd be very willing to see what that number is. I think if you look at those 3 teams, they have a couple of things in common. They've got a quarterback that is capable of winning the game for them, but doesn't have to. And the way they are built, both on the offensive and defensive lines, they're just better than most teams in the country. They can just run the ball right down your throat if they need to. They can bring a pass rush and say try and block it. And so far, nobody's been able to block Boehner Messidor.
Chris Fallica, everybody. More on the other side. His other plays next, right here on the Numbers Game at VSiN.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons, it's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Lesson number 1, Patty's back. I still believe that Caleb Williams is not any good. And, other than Roma Dunze, I don't trust anyone that can't run the ball.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin. Little Kelly Bidlin.
Yeah.
That's what we can call you from now on.
I like that.
That's a good double entendre because of your weight loss. That's what that is.
That's right.
Inspired by little Jordan Humphrey last night. Falika standing by for more college football plays. Also, Dr. Bob coming up. Steve Fezzik and Aaron Schatz. Football Friday. Does it get better than this?
Let's go.
I do not believe that it does. We get tweets at Beatty the Book. Y'all are the best. Seriously. I say it, but I mean it. Just want to keep saying it. Bentley Roberts. Oh, Bentley, this is such a great point. Bentley's at hella 56, by the way. Like, Kelly is hella small now. One of the greatest mysteries in all of sport, Gil, is how an MLB pitcher... What's that?
Quite a hesitation there, okay.
I was just trying to think what to say. One of the greatest mysteries in all of sport, Gil, is how an MLB pitcher can throw 97 miles per hour on the black from 60 feet 6 inches, but you ask them to throw it to a base and they look like a third grader with their offhand. It's unbelievable, really. We were talking about that last night a little bit. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's as old as time in baseball.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's like when the pro golfer looks like you out on the course too, right?
Yeah.
You're like, how does that happen?
Right. Yes. But throwing is so much more natural, right?
That is true.
Mike Rouse, can you ask Chris Falika? Oh yes, we will ask him this about the Athletic Heisman straw poll having Bain ahead of Beck. All right, let's bookmark that. Let me read a couple more. Jamie Leva, I'm a huge Dodgers fan, and I felt horrible for the pitcher. All he had to do was throw to first. I will take the win, but that poor kid. Also, excellent Vin Scully reference, Gil. Thank you. Win for Vin. Have a fantastic day, gentlemen. Yeah, it was a little nubber, is what it was. Stringfellow Hawk. Nobody beats the biz, Kelly. Yes? No? Maybe? So? You didn't get that reference? No. No, he didn't. Also, bet best Giants win in I don't know how long. He's a Giants fan. Rula pointing out the Mariners are 3-0 in games started by Scooble this year. By the way, including earlier in this very series. We'll get to that coming up. James NTU 89, such a terrible way for the Phillies to go out. Dodgers win seems, and then he capitalizes the word unearned. Go Dodgers. See what he did there?
Mm-hmm.
Irene points out to the hella 56 tweet earlier. He goes, well, pitching looks effortless because they've practiced slowly over a long period, making it seem effortless to us. Sweet Sita. I'm telling you, Kirk Herbstreit is Thursday Night Football cooler. He always seems to be against the favorite. Just pay attention when the dog is losing. And Bruce Dobiggin, going back the other way, says, I've probably watched bored MLB pitchers perform that throw it to first play a billion times over the decades. At no point did I ever think that it would be a damn bit of good when it really mattered. Guess what? We all wasted our time those March mornings. He's talking about spring training.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. If you ever get the opportunity, I'll put it that way, Gil, to cover spring training at day one, you're like, oh my God, like I don't need the... What is it? Fielding independent, whatever that they're doing.
Like
pitching, fielding, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And like nobody cares. All the pitchers are there, and it's like, let me like jog up and grab this and throw it to first.
Finally, D-Gen Southern Gen. Gil, I love you. We're going to have to disagree with you about Jameis. A majority of the viewing audience last night was absolutely clamoring for him to come in. He's pure excitement. Yeah, the Giants fans just wanted Dark back, though. But
this was a Biz Markie album.
That's right. Nobody beats the Biz.
I should have known that one.
A play off the Wiz record store, nobody beats the Wiz motto. Nobody beats the Biz. Nobody
beats the Wiz.
There you go. Chris Falika, ladies and gentlemen, the Bear from Fox Sports, also the emperor of the Bear Bets Pod empire. You can follow those at Bear Bets Pod on Twitter. Chris Falika, also part of the Big Noon Kickoff show, of course, each and every Saturday morning on Fox Sports. Anything you want to say postscript to your Yankees before we get back into college football?
No, I mean, we shattered that all on text already. Okay. It's a team that they for all of what they've done, it's still a team with a lot of hold. I do want to say, like, it was fun last night. I'm not making light of any potential concussion or anything. But was that like the most laughable concussion protocol ever? It was like everyone running in there. But Brian Dable probably went in there and said Jackson, what's your name?
Oh,
Jackson, he's good to go.
Yeah,
put him back in.
He stuck his head in the tent. Yeah, you're okay.
Clearly, how that's supposed to work, right? Yeah. The coach could pop his head in anytime he wants.
To steal the line from Big Cat on his power rankings that he puts out on Monday, are the Giants frisky and fun?
They might be.
Most excited. This has got a 4-year shelf life now for the Giants, for their fan base, regardless of how poorly or good it goes with Dart and Scatterboo. They have a legitimate 4-year window now where they won't care. I love both these guys.
That was a total Rigo drill at the end of that game with Scatabo, too. Total John Riggins drill right there. All right, back to college football. Let's talk about a 5-1 football team that is a slight favorite. Iowa State, 5-1. This is tomorrow morning at Deion Sanders' Colorado team, and it's the Buffaloes are 2.5-point dogs here.
There might be some threes still out there as well. I like Colorado here. I was not expecting to come into the week liking Colorado, but the more and more I went down and did some reviews and looked at some numbers. Colorado very easy the last couple of weeks. Could have beaten BYU. They couldn't convert on third down. Last week, they were -4 in turnovers against TCU. And now you get an Iowa State team who you suffered the first loss of the season. And sometimes when you're kind of like an unexpected, undefeated team, you get that first loss. I think Dr. Bob might have actually had a note on this, like that first loss. A lot of times you maybe have a little bit of residual effect. Now you go on the road. They've got a bunch of injuries in the secondary. You gave up 8 yards of play to Cincinnati last week. If Salter doesn't turn the ball over like he did last week, I think CU's got a really good chance to pull another upset.
Okay, let's stay in the Big 12. Not a 5-1 team, but a 4-1 team in TCU. Also a slight favorite, even less of a favorite, 1.5-point favorite at Kansas State.
Yeah, I don't see TCU as a favorite here. You went on the road a couple weeks back, lost to Arizona State. Last week, it was a very non-impressive win against Colorado, like I alluded to before, the 4 turnovers, and then got a late score to kind of get the ugly backdoor cover as a favorite, and you really shouldn't have covered the game. Kansas State did everything last week except win that game. You blew a 14-point lead. Avery Johnson had his best game of the season. And if you've got 4 games now by a combined 13 points. So, we joke about the Plinko board. K-State has been on the wrong side of the Plinko chip all year long. Haven't been able to win close games. Remember a couple weeks ago, I loved them in a spot against UCF at home, and they absolutely blew the Knights out. I don't know if they're going to blow TCU out, but I think everyone got excited week 1. Oh, wow, look at TCU and Hoover and that offense and what they did to North Carolina. Well, North Carolina stinks. And I think we need to kind of reassess our opinion of TCU. I think K-State here is a super live, slight home dog here to win and maybe win by margin.
Yeah. Well, just one correction. We take Plinko very seriously. We don't joke about it. It's a very serious thing.
Correct. Very true.
Yeah. All right. To the Pac-2, if you will. Oregon State is winless. They're 0-6. They're a 3-point dog at home against Wake. What do you got here?
They are, and they really deserved a better fate the last couple of weeks. Appalachian State, a couple of turnovers. The game against Houston, they wound up losing in overtime. They very easily could have won one, if not both of those games. And now you get a team coming cross-country, going the other way. Upset win at Virginia Tech, now is a slight road favorite. I don't know here. Malik Murphy, again, like Caden Salter, he can make a lot of big plays and make some plays that go wow and make some plays that go wow. Again, turnover machine, but also big play potential. You hate to be just feels like Oregon State is due for a win because it's kind of a remedial crutch type analogy. But the way the Beavers have played the last couple of weeks, it feels like they're cycling towards putting together a complete game and getting everything figured out. I like them here in Score Vallis as a small home dog.
Score Vallis. I like that. All right, let's get back to the question from Mike Rouse on Twitter. Can you ask Chris about the Athletic Heisman straw poll having Bain ahead of Beck? What's that all about?
The only thing I would say about that and I would worry about is a lot of times the writers there, not all of them are Heisman voters. They're just media members covering teams and covering the sport. And look, I don't think anyone's going to argue that Ruben Bain is the best player on the team. But I just worry about coming down the stretch in the Heisman voting about Remember last year with Hunter winning last year, are they really going to go non-quarterback, non-running back a second straight year when you potentially would have a 13-0 Dante Moore or a 13-0 Carson Beck with a Miami team that wins the ACC for the first time? I just think about the psychology of the voter and wondering if they'll really do that again. But I think we kicked around last week about Ruben Bain and his price potentially to be the number 1 net pick in the NFL draft with none of these quarterbacks really separating themselves. If the Titans have the number 1 pick, Do they keep it and pick someone like Bain or someone else, or does a team want to come up and trade it? So, like, if you're looking for a bet on Bain, maybe that pick to be the number one pick in the draft might be something you might want to look at.
Where is Ruben Bain on the Heisman list? Even what is his
think
number?
I think he's one or something like. So someone brought that up during the week as well on the Bear Bets pod and sent in a question. I think he was around 90 to 1 or
90 to 1. Yeah,
seeing 120 at DraftKings.
I'm scrolling.
Or 120 to 1.
Or 120.
Pizza money.
I kept
Pizza money is
yeah.
Mission of Hollywood, right?
Yeah. If you're into translation.